All right, we hot. We here. It's the RoundHouse RoundTable. We was just talking about Fabio Reyes. B said he from Portugal, and I think he looked like he from Atlanta. But we here. It's the RoundHouse RoundTable. We here to get into the no cap recap for this last event for one championship, February 10th, and the Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev, UFC 284. We're gonna talk about it. It's me, Armani T. We got B in the building. Hello, my love.
What's up, shorty? All right, love you.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it. A whole lot of stuff happened. Good things happen in Australia, down under, and we're gonna talk about it. Let's get it.
I swear my glow up in lightning. Hot yeah, something like lightning. This shit a hit on my psychic. She want me lick, I'm excited. See, I feel that's my business, and that's why I'm business minded. Need a push, get behind it. It's science, apply it. Worst come to worst, you tried it. Get it bad, get inspired. Shoot your shot, just the effort. I admire. You're high, it ain't looking for friends at this point.
Oh my God,
my circle is smaller than the point.
No cap.
I'd rather sit in voice than hearing the figure on their voice.
We already have. You're right. See, I had to hurry up and do it before you had to make your little comment about
about you culture appropriating.
My Aussie accent. My Aussie accent. Aussie.
Please stop.
Fight. It was turned up in there. It was turned up.
They was turned up. They was supporting their people, and I can appreciate that. That the crowd definitely showed out for sure. Yeah.
First, we're gonna get a no cap recap for the one championship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just we just want to highlight on some greatness, real quick. Something we saw, some excellence. So go ahead, B. What are we talking about?
Is Fabio Sensational Reyes. He beat Ferrari Fairtex in Bangkok on Friday night, February 10th, and it was a knockout in the second round. He was a huge underdog. Nobody believed that he could win this fight, and nevertheless knock him out. He even had him fumbled in the first round leading up to the second round. Ferrari was trying to get in close and keep the clinch, and it was not happening. He was still shook when Fabio knocked him out. The first time he was wobbling, he just kept going in for the attack and then got the job done. So huge shout out to him because nobody saw this coming except himself. Nobody believed that he could do it except himself. And I was super excited to watch it happen because that's what happens when you believe in yourself and you show up with, the fearlessness in your eyes, and you know that your capabilities and what you're capable of, and just believing in yourself and stepping in the ring with that confidence.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it's like, I'm looking at the knockout right now, and it was a flash knockout. But at the same time, he was doing everything he needed to do, work him against the ropes and apply the pressure.
Absolutely.
So that's what was there. And he wasn't going to be denied. He felt all the odds against him. So I know he felt all the odds against him too.
He was not going to be denied. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Reese on that, on getting it done. So now, they're going to stick you with another dog because, it ain't going to be easy. So just stay in the gym.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you be getting one of those straps. That's what's up. Hey, might come to the UFC. Hey, but or not. All right, okay, whatever. But I don't know. I like challenge that. So, but yeah. So that was no cap recap for the one championship. We just wanted to touch on that one. That was what we saw. And I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but it's Black History Month. Even though it's Black History Month every month, so we just wanted to say Happy Black History Month to everyone. And speaking of Black History Month, I just want to say the UFC probably did the worst Black History Month. I want to say paying homage or like what was it like that? That's just, and then when you see the Hall of Fame, when you see the Hall of Fame thing that they did, that shit was decked out. That was nice with the narration and in the background. It looked like for the Black History Month, it looked like they just threw some shit together. But oh shit, it's February 8th.
Yeah, please say something about a fighter that inspired you. And you don't have any time to write anything down. Just go off the dome. Go ahead.
And the fighters, they was like, what's inspiring to me is they Black and poverty and Happy Black History Month. Like what? What? What did you just say? Hey, you ain't even gonna cut none of those clips.
They didn't do any
Yeah,
editing.
that shit look horrible. Or motherfucking Super Bowl weekend, y'all ain't had shit else to do.
Oh,
Y'all
my
was that
goodness.
busy. We gonna get into the no cap recap for Makachev versus Volkanovski, pound for pound, number 1 versus number 2. Because I guess that's the only thing that they was really going off of.
Yeah, Volkanovski wanted the belt, but he was robbed. But we'll talk about it.
So
Which one you felt like was a robbery?
Elvis Brenner versus
You thought that was a robbery?
Tukov.
I didn't
No,
think that was a robbery.
it was
But we can talk about it.
it was a split decision, but it's like you could say it was like either way. I think Elvis had moments, but I think that Tukov was consistent throughout the whole fight, which I think is why it could have went his way. More significant strikes, more control time. That's one of those things where off jump, where I was like, okay, maybe they're judging different. Okay. So next, Shane Young versus Blake Builder, unanimous decision. Shane Young was just pretty much kind of in over his head a little bit, I would say, but he was still in the fight. Blake Builder was just clear. It seemed like he had more experience. And that's what, helped him get the unanimous decision. What I saw him do, what I don't see people normally do, I think he did it because he felt like he could do it. Like if you feel like you got a killer on the other end of you, you're not going to just try to lay off of punches because you want to conserve your energy. But from round 1 to 3, Blake Builder was literally building. It's like he was taking it easy in the first round, throwing punches soft, like really throwing soft punches, slow punches. Then even with his takedowns, he wasn't committing to his takedowns. And the commentators like, oh my God, the takedowns are so slow and he has to really commit to these and maybe he's gassed. That should boost the confidence of Shane Young in his takedown defense. No, he's not trying. And it's just like Shane Young should have known I'm sure he did know, he felt it wasn't any effort in those shots. But Blake Builder's second round, that's when he started to lay it on a little bit more, started to use a little bit more feet. Shane Young started to, go in the survival mode more. You saw that they was different on the ground, that it was a difference on the ground. Round 3, that's when he just turned it up on him. I ain't seen nobody like conserve their energy and use their energy so wisely like that. Especially in Shane Young. Shane Young was nice too. So
start applying the pressure as the rounds continue.
Yeah, like from a 3-rounder, you know what I mean? Like that's like a 5-round mentality. That's something that I feel like John Jones does, but it's not as obvious. John Jones is landing on thick kind of from the first round, well, not from the first round, maybe like the end of this first and beginning of the second. But he seemed like he was just throwing his punches light, like really filling it out. And I want to see his next fight.
And it was not a good start for the Aussies because Shane Young, lost that for them.
It still was a good fight. He stayed in there. It wasn't like he straight up got his ass beat, but it was a good fight. But it was just a clear like step and skill level. Next, we got Loma Luke Boomy versus Elise Reed. What she say? She said call her Luke Boomy. Is that what she said?
Damn, I forgot. Is it
She said call me
coming?
Call me Luke Boomy.
Luke Boomy's coming.
I don't know because it's not catchy at all.
It was. It was.
No, it's not. It is
was.
not. She's gonna have to figure something else out. I'm sorry.
Well, anyways, look Boomy.
Saying it like look Boomy is coming.
Yes. Now you
get it. But it's still
there's the hate. It's okay.
We can have that one. But but she got that W though.
Yes, she
that
did.
That submission, she was really fishing for that submission. Ooh, she was fishing for that submission. For
she knew she lost the first round, so she came in hot and heavy and took Elise Reed's back in the second round. Didn't give her a chance to protect her neck or do anything, and she just came in and she got it so fast. She even said like she knew she lost the first round, so she wanted to make sure she didn't lose the second round, and she made sure. because
That's right.
Elise Reed was giving her a hard time, especially on the ground with those reversals. I don't think she was expecting it, but she still took it to the ground. The second round, I'm like, what are you doing? You just got reversed like a couple times, and boom, it was over. So, look, Boomy, look at her. Look at her.
Yep, got it done. Rear naked choke. And she was so fucking happy when she got it because it's like, it looked like she been on the mats. It looked like she been at the gym on the mats, not just doing stand-up, because the stand-up was there, with Elise Reed. Elise Reed was tagging her a few times, and it was nice to see that Elise Reed hands did elevate a little bit, but I wanted to see her use more feet so she could keep her at bay. But I guess that wasn't her game plan.
I think it's smart that even though if you have a good stand-up, I think it's smart to start developing your ground game, just because it's mixed martial arts and it's highly important that you keep your opponent guessing. That way, you can catch them more off guard. They're unprepared for the things that you're gonna throw at them because you're so well rounded, and you can mix it up whenever you want to. But there was a person who gave us a nice showing of mixing things up and just attacking from all angles. He's now the interim champion, so we'll talk about it.
I mean, like, that's what I like to assume. I like to assume that fighters get on the mats and they get to a point where they feel they're comfortable on the ground. And I think that they just see a difference in competition level. Just like when we go to jiu-jitsu tournaments, it's just like every match is like, it's like a good match, or it's just a clear difference in competition. And I think
you hit your 300 calories.
Yeah, I did. So that's why I feel like Luke Boomy she had to spend that time on the mats to elevate that. And it's just like she probably was on the mats before then, thinking that, oh, I know how to do a rear naked choke. I know how to do a triangle. I know how to do these things. Now she had to apply it.
Previously she was getting dominated on the ground. So, learning lessons as they should be, you go and work on those things. And her opponent was having the same issue with a previous fight. So I guess she just wanted to take it there, or she figured she had a better chance there. Either way, she got the victory. So shouts out to Luke Boomy.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, Luke Boomy. Look, Luke Boomy's coming. Look Boomy's coming.
Luke Boomy's coming.
Next, Shannon Ross versus Clayton Rodriguez from Brazil. First round, 59 seconds. Shannon Ross was not supposed to be there. What the fuck was y'all doing? Who matchmakers? What did y'all have going on there? But all right, I just wanted to keep it just as short as the fight was. I want to see his next fight.
You didn't like it?
Y'all need to match him up with a dog. Oh, because he ain't make weight. That's why he didn't get the bonus. Yeah. But, that's the fight game. People don't play about the weight.
They don't, but I'm glad he won this, because they would have just been saying that it was the extra weight. Maybe it was conditioning why he couldn't make weight. And it sucks that he couldn't make weight because he had a wonderful performance. And I just asked myself, whenever fighters can't make weight, are you in the wrong division? Maybe you should be in a different division if you're having so much trouble making weight. So I understand why people go down in weight, because, they think they'll have a better chance. But sometimes you got to be realistic with yourself and challenge yourself, because those weight cuts, they take away your strength. They take away your concentration. They take away a lot of things. Yeah, you can replenish, but in the long term, what are you doing?
We're damaging your kidneys.
Yeah.
Yep. Next, real quick, I want to talk about Josh Kulabo, Nelson Bagdasarian. And Bagdasarian was supposed to have this one. But the way Josh caught that rear naked, I understand. That's just getting caught. I'm sure 9 out of 10 times Melsick will win. But that was the time that he was going to get caught. Because I don't even think the hooks were really in by the time. Like when he got I'm saying he had the choke. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the hooks go in after, that's when you know that a motherfucker just hopped on that shit. Mm-hmm. So it's just like that was just getting caught. Bagdasarian, keep going up.
Joshua had a chip on his shoulder from the weigh-ins when he got shoved in the face by Melsick. And so like you could see it when he came in the corner. When he came in the ring, he meant business. He wanted this man. Mm-hmm. And I believe he wanted to make a mockery of this man, doing all that extraness. And you got to ask yourself. But previously, Shannon Ross, he kind of did the same thing. Actually, Rodriguez did it to him. He had to like elbow up to his face, but in a sense, he still knocked him out. So that kind of worked in his favor.
Because
But
that's his personality.
exactly. But shoving somebody in the face,
that's not Milsic's personality.
yeah, Joshua just was like, I'm coming for you. And so the best way to do that is in the octagon and come out with some type of early finish. And he did that. And I saw that he definitely wanted to finish this man. And It was just about how.
Yep, that's another thing. When people might shove somebody or do something out of character during a weigh-in or face-off or something like that, they're super fucking nervous. And it's like the bad nervous, like unprepared type nervous. And it's just like the people who like will put hands on somebody and still win a fight. That's just that's their character. That's their personality. They're a fucking hothead. Milsic's not really a fucking hothead, but I understand Josh was getting close. So that's why he probably felt like, all right, let me do something. All right, I did something. The people are going, all right, turn up. But that's not him. So I get it. Next. Shout out Josh Kulabo on getting a W though, because that was a big W coming out of nowhere. Just especially bouncing back to Sarian, turn up second round, got it done. Hell yeah. Next, Tyson Pedro versus Modestus Bukauskas. Tyson Pedro was getting exhausted. That is crazy because it's just like he's like so electrifying in the first round. And it's just like second round, but at the same time, he was holding his own. Like it's just like he got cardio enough to survive, like not cardio enough to distribute to be able to function at a a moderate pace throughout the rounds. But he was just rapidly declining throughout the whole fight, taking big gasps of air. Bukauskas was pretty much like watching him the whole fight and just fresh. Looking fresh. Like he could have fought 2 of these fights. I don't know what Tyson Pedro does besides get another fight where he could knock somebody out in the first round, because other than that, that's when it's just like you got to work on cardio or work on takedowns. Because I just saw him standing up the whole time.
It is so frustrating. Especially like he lives there. You didn't have to do any altitude changes. You didn't have to go anywhere. Like you live and train there. And the fact that your cardio isn't surviving 3 rounds is a huge problem because this is your job. And it just makes me think like, what do you do in training? Like seriously, because when we're training, we work on a crap ton of cardio. And outside of that, I work on my own cardio. So it's just, you can't always go in expecting to knock somebody out in the first round, because now people are going to have the game plan of, I'm going to stall you in the first round. I'm willing to give it up and then just attack you in the last 2 rounds because you're most dangerous in the first round. And it's just, I had such high hopes for him. But Modestas, he had a game plan because he was previously cut from the UFC. He went and won Galactic Gladiators. He became a champ. And then he got this on a week or 2 short notice and came in. And so he wanted his contract back. And I completely understand it. He definitely had more to lose in this fight than Tyson Pedro. But what else does Tyson Pedro have to offer besides like
First
one
round.
trick pony? Yeah, just like what do you have to offer?
What?
Like this, you're a fighter. You just say I'm an MMA fighter. No, you're not. At this point, you're not. You're a stand-up fighter. MMA is all around. You got to be able to switch it up. And
it's a lot of hype around Tyson Pedro, and I mean, because like a lot of it's good, like from what he's displayed so far. Yeah, it's nice, cool.
Yeah, but his cardio is always a thing that's the negative about him. Like you knew a long time ago you didn't have cardio. At what point do you say, I'm gonna make this change and invest in my cardio, work on my cardio? At what point do you say that? When you're on the way out of the UFC, when your contract is over? At what point do you say that? Do you say that at any point, or do you just keep doing the same thing and get the same results? Like what?
I don't know. I think he kind of gassed himself from the first round. First round was kind of high paced.
Yeah, he was throwing everything but bad intentions. I get that, but it's about being smart and knowing what you're capable of.
Exactly. Next, speaking of cardio, Two. They
my.
used all the air in the room. They used all the air in the arena. That's why they ain't have cardio. Next, Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Manfield. Alonzo Manfield won the fight, if we want to be clear and be honest, but he had a point taken. So they called it a draw.
But before that, this fight should have been stopped in round 1 because this man was not fighting back. He was down on the ground right before the bell rang. That's when it should have been stopped. In round 2, at the beginning, also, he couldn't fight back. And I don't know if the ref was just trying to give him enough time to recover or, if they wanted to put on a show, whatever the case may be. But they got stale as hell after that because both of them was gassed. And it's just, Alonzo, I appreciate you for not, giving up, but it was very rough to watch you move in slow motion, getting up off the ground and just, being up against the cage. You got to invest in that cardio. Yes, you won the fight. I completely agree. They was very quick to take that point. It seemed a little bit biased to me because they never took a point that fast. And towards the end, too, it was like a minute left in the round. So, yeah.
That point taken was very weird. It was very sketchy. It was very it seemed like it had like intentions behind that point being taken.
Absolutely.
Not like intentions like making somebody an example, because there were numerous cage grabs afterwards, even in the championship fight. So, and he was the ref for that same fight. The Volkanovski fight, that was the same referee. The same referee for the Alonzo Manfield fight was the same referee for the Volkanovski fight. And he was not talking about no cage grabs in the championship fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he called that one so fast. Like, is that your homeboy or something? That's what y'all know each other or something?
Nah, he bet on that fight.
But yeah, for real. And he was like mad it wasn't going that way. But they was really, for their size, they was using a lot of cardio. They was doing a lot. So that for them to be tired, especially for Alonzo Manfield, when I've seen him gas before, like in previous fights, in a previous fight. So it's just like, he did his thing for real. He was really supposed to win this fight.
Yeah.
That cage grab, whether he went down, up or down, he still won first and third. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, what are we talking about? They're just like, all right, call it a draw if y'all want. Call it a draw. Jimmy Crute, I don't know.
There was a ref that scored it where Jimmy Crute won all 3 rounds, and I was trying to figure out how in the hell did that happen. Well, 2 rounds. And I'm trying, how, where, 29, 27?
When they took the point.
I understand that, but Jimmy Crute, he didn't win 2 rounds. He won maybe 1 at best, but I thought that was odd.
But shout out to Alonzo Manfield on getting a W. Next, Jack Maddalena versus Randy Brown. There was a lot of weird shit going on down under. That's all I'm gonna say. I was just talking about how my feelings was hurt with Randy Brown. Like, he was being himself,
Too much showboating.
And at the same time, it's just like he got caught. He got hunted. He got caught because that dude was not throwing nothing.
He was hunting.
But he was catching him with the teep kick. It's just like let him keep that distance.
I guess Randy Brown wasn't able to knock his nose to the other side because Randy Brown face planted hard as shit in the octagon before he got his face bashed in and then submitted.
Yeah, I had hope for him once it turned to jiu-jitsu. I was like, okay, all right, we're good.
He was getting his face smashed in.
And then that's when it was rear naked. I was like, all right.
It was clean.
It was super clean. Shout out Jack Maddalena. Next, Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. And this went how I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to be by knees or by like Josh Emmett running into something crazy. Yair took some fucking shots.
He did.
He took some shots.
Kicked the shit out of his stomach like that. He folded. He dropped to the ground, but he folded. Them kicks to the body was everything. And I've been
that shit was early too.
Yes, I've been saying this for so long. Like, people want to headhunt for some odd reason because it sounds good. But the body, you have a wider, bigger target. Why not fuck up the body and then go to the head? And I think Yair Rodriguez did a wonderful example of that. He had strikes coming from everywhere, and this was really excited to watch. And
Exactly.
this was very exciting. And Volkanovski, he has some trouble on his hands with this one.
And then with the submission.
Oh,
yeah. With the triangle, just pulled up the triangle. Okay.
He said, and I thought about it. I did it in training like once, but I was like, oh, it presented itself, so I just did it. Yeah.
Yep, that's jiu-jitsu. That's jiu-jitsu. Shout out Yair Rodriguez. Shout out to the featherweight interim title champ. Shout out to the champ. Next, we got the fight of the night: Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Go ahead, talk your talk. B, you think it's a robbery?
Robbery.
How you think it's a robbery?
I think it's a robbery because Islam was tired. He was evading. Nobody has ever given him a hard time. He was dropped. He couldn't do his hold you down and ground pound you. He couldn't do that to Volkanovski. And the significant strike Volkanovski had, and I will say this, Volkanovski just gave y'all the blueprint on how to beat this man. If nobody else is paying attention to that, yes, he got robbed, but this is a highlight of what needs to be done to beat this man, because it's very possible. And the fact that Islam is like saying he the best in the world, no, it was a lie. It was a lie. You were the favorite, and that's why I think he got the victory. And plus the bullshit ass judges, like Volkanovski won this. He is definitely champ, and that's what I'm gonna be calling him. Champ. You did it. You was robbed, but everybody knows you won that, except Islam, because he lied to himself. And I know Khabib was calling people phones during the rounds because he was taking too many shots. I know it for a fact. And then he was saying also that if Khabib was there, it would have been a lot easier. What does that say about yourself?
That says that Khabib is a good coach.
Yeah, I get that. I know what it says about Khabib, but what does that say about himself? He's just gonna keep lying to himself. That's what that is. And I really do. I hope they run this back. I really do, because I think Volkanovski will get the knockout next time. But I think Islam, he played it smart. He was playing it safe. I get he had a lot on the line. He had a lot to lose. I get it, but he did not win that fight.
Yeah, I think it's like when you come in for somebody's belt, I think you got to like prove it where it's just like obvious. But in this one, it's like what kind of turned up his strikes and his significant strikes was those ground strikes from him punching behind his head. So it's like, if you think about it, like you could say those are significant strikes, but he's still maintaining control time, like on your back. And he's still throwing his little punches that got him 95 total strikes.
No, and I understand that, but all I'm saying
plus
is
4 takedowns.
If you the submission king like you say you are, you would have finished that rear naked.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if he said he the submission king or none of that, but I just know that like what it looked like was that Volkanovski and when they were standing up, it looked like their hands, okay, they both had moments on the hands. Because like they had a few moments where like Volkanovski was getting popped back to back a few times where he was just like, okay, good one.
There was only one knockdown though, and that was committed by Volkanovski. Just saying.
Yeah, okay, but what I'm saying is like, so you have 4 takedowns, you have all the control time, and you have that amount of strikes, which is not too far off, but is, you know, like when you watching the fight, you've seen a lot of the strikes were on the head, from behind the head. So it's just like, I don't know. It was like it's just like, to me, I would have said split decision Islam. Okay, I understand, but unanimous, I don't know about unanimous.
I understand that, but when you take somebody down and you don't do anything with it, that's kind of what happened in this situation. And I know MMA is kind of getting away from that if even though you took this person out, if you haven't done anything with it, then it really doesn't matter. The takedown was just useless. Yes, they wasted energy getting back up, but every one of those takedowns, he didn't really do anything with it. Yeah. So I understand what you're, yes, exactly. Go back to the original game plan of just holding somebody down for the control time, but that doesn't do anything.
Looking forward to the rematch. That was the no cap recap for UFC 284. We're looking forward to the rematch for sure. Please set it up. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Catch us on Apple, Google, Amazon Podcasts. It's the Roundhouse Roundtable. It's me and Monty T, and it's B in the building. And we out of here. What was that? All right. There you go.
That's why I use the heat as a sword. Cause keep the peace as a boy. They go keys for you. Say please. That's one, please. Don't need no one. That's two, please. Don't leave. That's 3, 4. If you do.